Audio Jungle.
Autopsy reveal UWI student died by strangulation. An investigation has been launched into the October 16 death of University of the West Indies Mona student. Following an autopsy which revealed she died of strangulation, reporters understand. The police are now awaiting a toxicology report for 20-year-old Victoria Brown Handley, which they expect to reveal more information on the circumstances of her death. Initial reports said Brown-Handley was alone in her room on the fourth floor of the George Alley Hall after her roommate left shortly after 1 a.m. When the roommate returned, sometime after 6 a.m., she saw Brown-Handley lying face down with a scarf wrapped around her neck. The roommate reported removed the scarf and summoned campus security. A team from Mona Police Post also responded, and it was subsequent to confirm that Brown-Handley of Mandeville address was dead. Legany Avenue in St. Andrew to be closed for 7 days. The National Works Agency NWA has informed that Legany Avenue in St. Andrew will be closed for a period of 7 days, commencing at 8 a.m. on Saturday. It says the closure will affect the section of the roadway between Legany Terrace and Pollington Terrace and is to facilitate the ongoing rehabilitation project that commenced earlier this year. The roadway is scheduled to reopen at 5 p.m. on November 15. Manager of Communication and Customer Services at the NWA, Stephen Shaw, says the roadway is being reconstructed as part of the shared prosperity through accelerated improvement of our Road Network Spark program. He says the targeted roadways are being rehabilitated into sections to minimize impact on the commuting public. Shaw says that during the period of closure, access to areas under construction will be limited to residents only. He says that traffic management personnel and appropriate signage will be in place for safety guide motorists and pedestrians through or around the work zone. The alternative routes for motorists traveling from the direction of Barbican is Pollington Terrace. Motorists traveling from Hope Road are being advised to use Legany Avenue. The NWA further advised motorists to exercise caution while using the roadway during the period of work and observe the instructions of flag persons and posted signs. Melissa leaves one dead in Portland. Despite escaping the full wrath of Hurricane Melissa, which slammed into the southwestern section of the island just over a week ago, this parish recorded at least one dead, with 3 emergency shelters still open, and residents living close to Buff Bay River in fear, particularly as more rain is forecast for the island this week. Official sources have identified Melissa's victim in Portland as 76-year-old William Richards of a Maho district address. According to the reports, Richards was at home when a tree fell on the house, leaving him injured. Residents ran to his rescue and took him out, but they were unable to get him to medical care as the road was blocked. He later succumbed to his injuries. He is one of 32 deaths so far linked to Melissa across Jamaica. In the meantime, 3 of the 60 shelters that were open in the parish as Melissa approached the island were still housing residents up to Tuesday. But most worrying for Portlanders is the erosion of the banks of the Buff Bay River, which has left many properties in the White River area now at risk. One resident, Kenneth Barkley, told reporters that this is a problem that they have faced since 1988 when Hurricane Gilbert slammed into the island. The Buff Bay River burst its bank and came in the community. Almost everybody in the community was flooded out. My house was the first house to get flooded with water. The river came right in, stated Barkley. We have made so many petitions to people, bigger heads, that they should take this thing seriously, and we write letters, send them in, and nobody comes to do anything about it. That night, Tuesday, October 28, 2025, was a night that it could be the same thing, but thanks be to God, it did not really come over. It teared down the bank here, and it took about 20 feet of the land around here, added Barkey, at the point to spot where the river eroded its bank during Melissa. According to Barkey, the community could have been in mourning in the morning after Melissa, but we still give thanks to God that we are still here and alive. So, we would really like somebody to do something now. We're crying. We can't take it anymore. Our lives are in jeopardy right here. According to Barkley, the residents have spoken to National Works Agency, different members of parliament and councillors who have promised to have the matter addressed, but nothing has been done. Only in Gilbert it overflowed its bank. It did not overflow this time. it just tore down bank. But if it was further up in the top, then it would come into the community and flood it again, added Barclay. His wife Novlet was quick to support his position as she recounted the ordeal when the river overflowed its bank during the 1988 hurricane. In Gilbert, I had two children and I had to tie them in a sheet and jump the fence to come out of the house to secure the children's lives and ours, said Novlet, as she charged that she has spoken to representatives of the two major political parties and nothing has been done. Not too long ago, like about 2 weeks ago or even less, I went there and I did a video and I sent it off to the consular, Ron Vassell. I said, look, this needs to be dealt with like right now because this is what is happening. The land is going away, and if we have a disaster, it's going to be worse around here. He said he's going to send it off to somebody at ODPEM, Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, and they were going to get it to us. I know nothing could be done in such a short span of time, but look, we're talking about lives. We're talking about property. We have our children here, we have elderly people, and what is happening here is just not good, added Novlet. She said during the passage of Hurricane Melissa, she was in her house with her daughter, indicating that she heard a sound as if its truck was passing. When I pulled the door and I looked out, I said, no, it is not a truck, that is the river. I called to them and I said, River, all we have to do was to run out of the house with the pots and our food in it. In the day just like this, it's not right. Look at what is happening out here, Novlet stated. She pointed to areas where she had a gazebo and 20 feet of land that had taken by the Warren River. It is time for somebody to step in and help us. We need help like right now as we speak, she stated. Meanwhile, Garfield, who lost a section of his property to the Bull Bay River that runs behind his house, said he has been trying to protect his property over years. I ended up making a mini basket. Around here, I spent a lot of money just to make the basket to prevent my side from washing away. Tuesday, October 28th, about 6 o'clock, the heavy wind started to blow. Right through the night, about 1:30 Wednesday morning, just one rush and something gone. Had a gazebo, a washroom, and a step here all gone. I had to spend a lot of money and money investing in this property, and it is a big loss. I really need somebody to come and even help me to get this river trained. The training needs to start further up, about 1,000 feet up from the corner, for when it reaches there, that's when the river picks up speed. It comes on the corner, that's when it comes so wide and starts eating away the bank. So we really need some drastic measures to be done about it. I've spent all my life building this property, and it is just a quick minute. It goes down, just go so, he stated. In the meantime, Michael Garrick said his farm was devastated by the river water. We had plantains, bananas, and pumpkin on the side of the farm here. We had pineapple, different little things, a coconut tree, all of those things there, sweet potato. There are some plants that are debris covered as the water came through and destroyed them. We're looking, right here at the river. That tree there, it is a teak tree, an expensive lumber tree, and the mountain sap. We had a whole heap of big stones behind that are gone. Numerous planting also, it's unbelievable, and some plantings that were bearing fruit. Pumpkin were just ready and starting to bear, Carrick lamented. 90,000 families in western Jamaica impacted by Hurricane Melissa. Approximately 90,000 families in western Jamaica were directly affected by the passage of Hurricane Melissa on October 28. This is according to the initial damage assessment by Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management (ODPEM), which also indicated that more than 120,000 buildings lost their roofs. Newly appointed Director Chairman of ODPEM, Commander Alvin Gale, gave the update on Thursday during a special press briefing on Hurricane Melissa recovery at Jamaica House in St. Andrew. Meanwhile, Commander Gill disclosed that while the National Works Agency (NWA), the Jamaica Fire Brigade and other entities have successfully re-established access to many communities that were marooned following the passage of the Category 5 storm, at least 27 communities remain cut off. We're acutely aware that many communities are still marooned, cut off by flooding and landslides. As of this morning, there is some indication that some 27 communities remain marooned primarily in the difficulty to reach areas of St. Elizabeth, St. James, and Trelawney, he noted. In response, Commander Gill noted that ODPEM, in collaboration with other government agencies and ministries, as well as private sector and international partners, is making progress daily to restore power, telecommunications, water, clearing roads and delivering aid to those impacted by the storm. He added that ODPEM is working to conclude its initial damage assessment report to determine the full extent of the hurricane impact across Jamaica, which will assist the government to understand the needs of the affected people as the recovery phase begins. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.